Hey guys, so this is a very lax video, but this is going to be my Throwback Thursday, and for this month I chose to read Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. It is a historical fiction about Nazi-occupied Denmark and a little girl named Anne Marie. I do talk about it a little bit in my the vlog style clips that are going to come up shortly, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but I will tell you, if you have not read this, it's extremely spoilery, so you should probably click off. I did love it. I enjoyed it. I give it 5 stars. Highly recommend it if you like historical fiction. It's just truly awe-inspiring, and I can't believe I read this as like 11, 12-year-old girl, because I don't think I even realized what I was reading at the time. But it's an amazing book, and you know, it's really short, so it packs quite a punch. There is a introduction, I think, from the author, and there's also an afterword from the author where she talks about the fact and fiction of the novel, and some of the things that were actually factual are very mind-blowing to me. And yeah, I don't know, I mean, I think if you like historical fiction, you should definitely pick it up because it's great. So without further ado, let's just get into my little bit of vlog clips. Okay, so this is a very non-flattering angle, but I have started Number the Stars. I am about 40 pages in. I have less than 100 pages to go, and I could probably have finished it today, but I want to drag it out a little bit so I don't consume it too quickly, so that I can get my thoughts together. I will tell you that there's a lot of things that I forgot, and I am really enjoying it so far. I mean, not a ton has happened. We're just kind of getting like a little bit of background on what's going on, learning about the characters. Anne Marie is the main character. She's a 10-year-old girl, and I'm really liking all of the characters so far. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where my love of historical fiction started, and I'm not mad about it. Yeah, it's really good though. I'm liking it so far, and I'm excited to continue on. Hey guys, so I just wanted to give a little update. I'm still reading Number the Stars. I am about 75 pages in. I have like 50 pages to go. It's a quick read. I could probably finish this all in one sitting, but I'm trying to read it slowly. For it being such a small book, it packs such a punch, and I realized that I don't remember as much as I thought I did about the book, and I just wish that I could remember like what my thoughts were as a child, because there's so much happening, stuff that I don't think I could have even understood as a child when I was reading it. And so I can tell you that Anne Marie, which is the main character, the little girl in here, she's about 10. This girl's like fearless, and she's curious, and she's just like any other 10-year-old. And they're in a really dark time. It's World War II. The Nazis, you know, have invaded Denmark, and Anne Marie's best friend is Ellen, who is Jewish, and we're just getting to the point where the soldiers, you know, before they were just there and they were a nuisance, but they didn't really bother anybody, but now they're starting to take the Jewish families away they don't say in the book, obviously, because it's not like a child understands. They call it relocating, but obviously they're taking them to concentration camps. You know, it just talks about the things that they're going through right now. They just went to her uncle's house in the country, and they're talking in code, but Anne Marie does know something's up, and they're getting ready to transport Ellen, I think, to be with her family. So they got wind that the Nazis were going to, they were starting to take families away, and so Ellen, she's Jewish, like I said, her family disappeared, and Anne Marie's family took her in, and now they're about to ship her, I'm assuming, to wherever her parents are. There was like a moment in the book, like these girls are best friends, and it's so nice to see like the innocence of friendship, and like the way that they're viewing everything that's going on. Like, they know it's bad, but they're just making everything they're making the best out of everything. They're resilient, and I love that. Like, I love seeing something like this through the eyes of a child who really doesn't know all that much. Doesn't know all the evil that is happening. There is a moment when they're in the country where they stumble upon a kitten, and they take the kitten in, and Anne-Marie's youngest sister, Kirsty, she has named the kitten. His name is Thor, and I thought that was pretty funny. And so, you know, they're just finding things to make life seem a little less dark and dreary, and you know, they're just making the best out of a horrible, horrible situation, and I'm really, really enjoying it so far. And, you know, I'm 75 pages in, and I have so many feelings. Like I said, I can't imagine being that young and going through something like this. And also, I don't think as a 10-year-old, or I think it was 12 when I read it, but I don't think at that age that I really understood like what I was reading and what was really happening. Because yes, they do talk about Nazis. Yes, they do talk about them, you know, treating the Jewish community horribly and, you know, relocating them, but they don't really get into specifics because obviously it was written for a child to read and consume. But yeah, I'm just, Lois Lowry is amazing, and this book is amazing, and I just love it. Hey guys, so I finished Number the Stars last night, and I tried to film like a final thoughts video, and I just couldn't get my words together. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to say about it, other than I absolutely loved it the second time around, even though, like I said before, that I didn't remember a lot of it. But this book is truly awe-inspiring and heartbreaking, and it puts things into perspective. Where I left off last, Anne-Marie had just figured out that her family was lying to her about something, the death of her Aunt Bertie, which she didn't have an Aunt Bertie, and she finally confronts her uncle, and he tells her, you know, you're such a brave little girl, and, you know, there's a reason that you don't know everything, because if you don't know everything, then you're braver. And he does tell her, like, yes, you're right, there is no great Aunt Bertie, but, you know, I can't tell you anymore, and that's for your own safety. And then what happens from there is these people show up, including the Rosens, which are her best friend's parents, and they are all sitting around. They're pretty nervous. Peter, which is the fiance of her older sister, or ex-fiance, shows up, and then the Nazi soldiers show up, and they're demanding, like, why isn't the casket open? Let me see the casket. The mom, Anne-Marie's mom, handles it really well and says, like, you're right, we should be seeing it, but she has, you know, typhus, and the doctor said it could be contagious, but she's dead, so how could it be contagious? And at that point, the Nazi gets pissed off and slaps her, but he doesn't want to see the dead body, so they leave. Well, after they leave, you know, they open the casket, and there's blankets and sweaters and warm clothes and you know, all of these things. And then Anne-Marie kind of starts to figure out what's going on. She has to say goodbye to her best friend, who, you know, she says that she's going to see again, but at that point she really has no idea if she'll see them again. There's some crazy things that happen. Anne-Marie is sent on a secret mission where she has to bring something to her uncle, and she doesn't know what it is. No one will tell her, and that's because, you know, it's safer for her not to know what it is. And so she's taking this to her uncle, and she hides it in a basket of food. So she gets stopped by German soldiers with dogs that are made to sniff out humans on the boats, because the Germans at this point know that the Jewish people are escaping, but they can't find them. And they have found some on some boats, obviously, but the Germans let her pass, and they actually get to her package, and they open the package, and it's a handkerchief. The dogs sniff it, and then they walk away. I was like, well, that's weird. Why would they? Maybe there's something wrapped in the handkerchief, but I feel like he would have found that, right? So she goes on her way. She gives the handkerchief to her uncle, and her uncle says, thank you so much. I thought this was all going to be for nothing. Like, I can't believe we dropped it on our way out here. And then she wants to question, like, they stop me, but it's just a handkerchief. Like, what's a handkerchief going to do? And you find out that Swedish scientists came up with a solution to block this, like, the dogs from being able to smell the humans. And I thought that was the craziest thing. Like, they put something on the handkerchief, the dogs sniff the handkerchief, and then they can no longer sniff out the Jewish people. And I was like, wow, that's got to be fictional. There's no way that that is right. And when you get to the end of the book, there's an afterword from Lois Lowry where she talks about the parts of the book that are fact and the parts that are fiction. It was inspired by one of her friends who actually lived in Denmark during the Nazi occupation. I adore this book. I think it's amazing. I think Lois Lowry is amazing. This is the only book I've ever read but from her. I know that she did the Giver Quartet. I think it's like dystopian. So I might pick it up just because I enjoyed this one so much, but I feel like it's not going to have the same impact. As a 10-year-old, I think I was 11 or 12 when I read this, actually. And I don't even think I realized, like, what I was reading and the impact that this was eventually going to have on my life. It's going to be a book that's going to be, just a special place in my heart forever, I think. Alright guys, well there's all my vlog clips and my thoughts along the way. I was really bad at putting my thoughts together just because I loved it so much, but I will tell you it was a 5 out of 5 star read for me if I haven't said that already, and I'm really glad I reread it, and I'm really enjoying this series. It's created by Julie over at Pages and Pens, her Throwback Thursday series. I will link her channel and the information down below so you guys can go check it out. And I can't wait to see what I pick up next month. I think I have an idea of my Throwback Thursday for November, so that should be fun. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.